My last tip is take care of your thoughts. I mean, I really do, because most of the times when we're alone, when we're not reading anything, when we're not listening to something, when we're not watching something, our mind starts to do different thoughts.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. Today's guest is Tatiana Shukouroglou Chrysostomou. That's a lot of names. And she is a wonderful lady who lives in the capital of Cyprus, Nicosia. We got to know each other by pure coincidence because she was a speaker in the Global Woman Club. And then we found out that we're actually living on the same little island. And then we started talking. And now, even though I still haven't met her in person, I feel like I know her so well. And she does a lot of interesting stuff. She is very versatile. She has done all sorts of different things in her life. The latest is being a certified RTT practitioner and a certified hypnotherapist. Many people probably won't know what an RTT practitioner is, and that's why we're here to explain what you do. Tatiana, welcome to Most Memorable Journeys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's just dive right in. And this name, Shukouroglou, because I have been in Cyprus for quite a long time and I know the common Cypriot names. That is not a common Cypriot name.
No, it's not. And it's actually a Turkish name, but my family is Greek. So the last part of the name, Oglou, means the son of. So it's the son of Shukur. And Shukur means being grateful. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So yeah, it's like Shukur, it's thank you. So it's the son of thankfulness or being thankful, the son of. So, but my family is been always Greek. There were Greeks living in Asia Minor, was called then. Now it's Turkey, in Adana. And in 1921, when there was an exchange of Greeks having to leave that part. There were refugees, actually. My grandfather, the father of my father, together with his the whole family, his parents and his brothers and one sister, they took a boat from Adana and they had to leave their home and come refugees in Cyprus, in Larnaca. They landed. They ended up in Larnaca. 1921, and fortunately they had some fortune with them, and they immediately started. They began a family business with food products, and this business actually remained for many years. Yeah, but this is what the family name is, where it comes from.
Lovely. Now, you are not 100% Cypriot, and I want to know, when was the first time that you were on a plane? Do you remember that? I ask that everybody because my podcast is called Most Memorable Journeys.
Yeah, when was the first time I rode a plane? Well, I remember vividly, but I think it must have been before the first time. But when I was 9 years old, it was 1974, so you know my age now. 1974, I was 9 years old. And it was during the Turkish invasion. My mother, my twin sister, and my brother. I have two older brothers, but one of the two brothers was younger than 17 back then. We had to go to Denmark because my mother is Danish. Well, to get away from the war. My father had to stay, and my older brother had to stay in Cyprus because he was almost 18, and they were not allowed to leave the country. So I remember that trip very vividly, but I know that I've been in Denmark many times before I was 9 years old because my mom wanted to go there as often as possible.
But that was the one trip that you remember. That must have been very hard to leave a country and to know that there is trouble and to have to leave your brother and your father behind.
Yes, it was. It was much harder than for my mom and also for my brother, who was old enough to know. And actually, years later, I found out that he was feeling very guilty. Myself and my sister, I don't think we felt it so much. The trip was quite adventurous, but when we reached there and we stayed at my grandparents' house and then the different uncles and cousins, we were having fun. I must
It was
say.
just a trip. Yeah, I guess you were too young to realize the
Yeah.
seriousness of the situation. So, do you remember when you were growing up? Because your mom was a foreigner, and I'm a foreigner. I am married to a Cypriot, and in today's world, it's absolutely no problem anymore because there are many. But I think in those years when your mom was young, when you were young, there weren't so many foreign women married to
Oh
Cypriot.
no. Well, very very few foreign women, and most of them were the so-called. They were artists in nightclubs, actually. Yeah, but she was only 20 years old, and she came in 1955. With, I mean, Cyprus back then compared to Denmark back then, it was a huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah. So, but she came when she was 20 years old with my father after they got married first in Denmark, and then they got married here in Cyprus as well.
That is amazing. I have friends who had mothers who came around about this time. And like one of my friends here from Switzerland, I think they didn't even travel here by plane. They came by boat from Switzerland via Athens. Times were so different. I mean, in such a short time, I look at my life sometimes. I'm quite old, but I'm not that old. But the amount of development, technical development that we have gone through is outstanding.
Yeah, true. Yes. I mean, my mom, if she wanted to communicate with her parents, she had to call an operator, and they would give the number, and then they would tell her, okay, stay home for the next, I don't know how many hours until we connect you. So she couldn't go anywhere. She had to be close to the telephone all day to manage to get that call in Denmark.
Absolutely amazing. And now you just send a WhatsApp message and you add a picture on top of everything.
Yeah.
So, Tatiana, you grew up in Cyprus and then you went to study. You did a business administration degree. Somehow did not like that too much because then you changed to interior design.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What happened?
Well, the reason why I studied business administration was because I didn't know what else to study back then. I didn't feel I was had any inclinations or any real big wish, or like my twin sister. She always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. She studied that, and she's still a very successful kindergarten teacher. Me, I didn't have that vivid want, or so I said, okay, business administration, because there was always this the family business still exists. So I said, okay, let's study business administration, and I can come back and work at the family business, which I did. And but it was not really appealing to me. I don't know how I came to realize that I was talented into the design. I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe just visiting different exhibitions and going abroad, I realized how much I loved the design. So I started studying interior design in Cyprus after I had my second son, and that's when I finished the interior design diploma. Yeah.
And apart from traveling to Denmark, do you like to travel? Did you travel with your family?
Yeah. Well, not the past few years.
No. I mean, when you were younger, I mean, because there is another thing that I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Your dad was the consul of Switzerland. Did you travel to Switzerland for that sometimes, or were you not included?
Well, no, we didn't travel because of that. We traveled for skiing holidays. We like to go for skiing holidays. And we usually went to Switzerland, of course, because of his connections. Well, my two brothers studied also in Switzerland. We visited them only once. We have a big difference, not a big difference, like 6 and 8 years difference from my brother. So we're not really, really connected back then. I mean, had the big difference of age.
Yeah.
So we traveled with our parents in Switzerland and in Europe mostly. Yes.
Yeah. Have you been overseas ever?
Overseas?
Yes, like out of Europe.
Out of Europe. Yes, I have. I have been, not with my parents. I went to Thailand. I went to Mauritius, United States, where I studied. Yeah, I think this is
What would be if you could just leave tomorrow? Where would you go? If you could go anywhere you want, where no money is no object, what would be your favorite trip to go on?
I always wanted to visit Australia because we have some relatives there. Now my niece is there with her husband. Australia, yeah, that's a place I would like, and New Zealand. Well, India is a place that my husband says that we should visit, but it's not like on the top of my list. Yeah, I think it's Australia, New Zealand, and India.
You could always stop over in India on the way to Australia because it's too long a flight to go in one stretch, so you can consider that.
Yes.
Now, you had another desire after you did your interior design, after you had your kids, and I think this happens to many of us when our children grow up. We feel that there is still a lot of life in us. There is still a lot of juice in us, and we want to do something.
Yeah.
And you started training to become a certified RTT practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
What is an RTT practitioner? What does an RTT practitioner do, and what do you do with it?
First of all, I'll tell you that I first became a certified NLP practitioner before even getting to know about RTT. So first I became an NLP practitioner, and I did that firstly to help myself because I wanted to start changing the way I was thinking about myself. Yeah, I felt I was not very satisfied with myself. So I started following different self-development courses. And that's how I got to know about NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming. It's all about what you're thinking that relates to what you're feeling. And then what you're feeling creates your actions. And then your actions create your results. So I started with that. And I thought I could be an NLP practitioner and help other people. I always had this empathy towards women, for women especially, about their appearance. You know, if they gain a lot of weight and they can't get rid of it. I always had this empathy for women, and I wanted to help them through NLP. But then I found out about RTT, which is the Rapid Transformational Therapy, which is actually a hybrid between NLP, cognitive behavioral CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and psychotherapy, like talking therapy. What this method does, using all these modalities, but first of all, you do hypnosis, which hypnosis is nothing to be scared about because a lot of people when they hear the word hypnosis, they think that they're going to be out of control and that you're going to do whatever you want with them. But this is not the case. What the case is that your client just becomes really relaxed, so you can get in touch with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, which is the one that we are using right now, and that does all the thinking or the overthinking, that does all the criticizing, that all these 70,000 thoughts that we do during the day. So we want to quiet down the conscious mind to get in touch with the subconscious mind, because this is where all the emotions, the beliefs, the memories, things that were stored there since the day one you were born, or maybe even when you were in the womb of your mom. You hear things or you experience some incidents that might create a negative belief, and that negative belief stays like an imprint in your subconscious mind, and it's holding you from being able to reach whatever goal you're trying to reach. So let's say if let's not talk about, I don't know if you want to talk about what I'm niching down. I mean, what niche is with the...
Yeah, I will want eventually, because,
yeah.
But let's go first into, because you're explaining it very, very nicely. And I found out when I was 29 years old that I actually have a conscious and a subconscious mind. And I am sure that there are many people today who don't know that, you see. And I think it's important for people to understand what's in there and how it got in there.
Exactly. So, I mean, also because usually as people to get an understanding of something, you need to have a picture in your mind. I mean, if I tell you, okay, think of your living room right now, imagine you're going to have a picture of your living room, right? I mean, if you have to think of something, you create a picture in your mind. So if you had to create a picture of your mind, what would that be? What would that be for you? If I say to, okay, think of your mind, what picture does come in your mind?
Come up in my mind. Well, as we are speaking together, it would be you.
Yeah, okay. Because usually people bring the picture of the brain, that.
Oh, I see. I see now. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
But,
of the word mind.
Yes, of the word mind.
Yes.
So actually, the mind is three things: the conscious mind, and our body, which the body is the actions that come from the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind, which is the filtering part of the mind that hears, smells, the touching, all the five senses, and everything is filtered from the conscious mind and goes straight to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind receives everything from the conscious mind, everything, whether it's bad or good, whether it's a lie or whether it's whatever. It receives everything. And then the subconscious mind, after it creates a picture, it creates then a feeling. And then the feeling, of course, creates the actions through our body. So this is what the mind of a person is. It's the conscious, the subconscious, and the body. This is what how the mind works. So through our teaching, what we do is go to the subconscious mind and search for different scenes according to what we're trying to find. I mean, what the issue of the client is. So we visit the subconscious mind and we find different scenes, whatever incidents happened in the past to the client. And then we find out and we realize what meaning the client gave to a certain incident. It might be something small, might be a kid of 5 years old standing to say something in the classroom, and then all the children laughed at her. I mean, really, then she was so embarrassed. So that incident gave this belief in her subconscious mind: I will never stand and speak in public again. This is a no for me. So this person grows up and has to stand in front of their colleagues and gets like panic because it's still there, that imprint. So if this is like a very big issue and they have to get rid of it, during hypnosis, we find the scene, we find the meaning that was given to it, and we delete it. We change it. We change the meaning completely. So this is like a session that might take 1.5 hours. But at the end of the session, what we do is give a very nice transformation. So whatever happened, we delete it or we change the meaning, and then we give the totally new positive meaning in a bespoke recording. Client will have to listen to it for at least 21/7 days, because it's been proven that for your mind to change, to make new habits or to change the constant thoughts, you need to have a repetition of at least 21 days. So that's why I really love this method, because you can help people with so many issues.
Yeah, and since we are in the subconscious mind, and it's also very important to understand that, number one, the subconscious mind never sleeps.
Yes.
It hears everything. And the other thing that is also important is that the subconscious mind does not process negative. And when I tell you, don't think of a blue elephant, what do you think of?
Blue elephant.
So, I think something that has so much power, and I think people totally underestimate this thing. They have this, as you said before, the word hypnosis scares people. They imagine this situation on a stage in Las Vegas where some magician makes fools out of people, and that is not what hypnotherapy is. Hypnotherapy is a wonderful, wonderful tool to help people get rid of something that they really don't need, and that stops them from living a full life. Now, you, Tatiana, have specialized in the area of health and wellness, fitness, and body weight.
Yes. Well, this is the part that I have decided to niche down. I have other clients for different issues. I mean, for panic attacks or for depression. I have young adults like in the 20s who are they're lost because they don't know what to do next. I am niching down to this part that you said for women who are trying to get rid of the extra weight that they've gained through the years for different reasons, and they can't stick to a normal healthy diet. So I'm helping them first of all through RTT to find what it is that is pushing them to eat more than what their body actually needs. Because we were born, and as babies, we know how much when to eat, when to stop eating. No baby overeats. I think after some time, maybe they might.
Only when they start walking behind him or her with the plate and feed them. But as long as it's absolutely true, and it's something that is fascinating, because when you give a baby a bottle or when a baby breastfeeds, they stop and you can stick that bottle in their mouth as many times as you want. If they are full, they will not eat anymore.
Exactly.
And then we train them.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm doing through this program is first, through this RTT session, we'll find what it is that happened in the past, an incident that created a belief that maybe keeping the weight or eating more or is helping them or protecting them for some reason. So we find that incident and the beliefs that were created, and we change them. We reframe them, but then also I give them the recording to reframe the old belief, but also I give them more recordings to change the self-talk, the everyday talk. So, for example, I was having dinner with friends yesterday, girlfriends. So this dear, lovely friend, she said, "Okay, after dinner, I really want to have my sweet." I can't. I have to have my sweet. I said, "Okay, why don't you change this sentence and say, after dinner, I enjoy a nice cool glass of water, and that makes me so satisfied." And she said, "But it's not true. I love my sweet." Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is change, even if you don't believe it consciously. If your subconscious mind listens to this enough times, it will, as we said, the subconscious makes your actions. It will make your actions towards what it actually believes. So stop saying that. Change the conversation. Change whatever you're saying. So I'm giving them different ways to start saying different stories, different sentences every day, because their actions and their quantities of eating, everything will change once you're saying the correct description in your subconscious mind. And also, a very important thing is changing the body image. Because if you have had this image in your subconscious mind for the last 20 years of being really, really overweight, if you don't change that image with a special hypnosis method, if that image is stuck there like an imprint of the overweight, the subconscious mind will guide you again to eat again, to reach that picture that the subconscious has in the mind of your body image. So that's also a very important thing to do.
Now, you were saying before that you find out what incident that could have happened in the young years, maybe as a child or maybe as a young adult. Do you have an example of such an incident? What could it be?
Yes. Okay, there's different examples, but one that comes into mind is a lady whose mother was very, very, very sick and died when she was a young age. And she died from cancer, and she was becoming thinner and thinner and thinner until she died. The image of becoming thin and sick and then dying is
connected to
giving the wrong belief, the wrong meaning. Yeah. Or it could be also another incident. Also, 9-year-old, when she was 9-year-old, she was just becoming, woman in shape. And one male teacher gave her a very dirty look and also touched her and in a way that she didn't like. And she was so shocked. And her subconscious mind made the belief that I will never look good and sexy again, because this is what I get when I look sexy and good. So even though at a later age, a older age, unconsciously, she wanted to look good and sexy, I mean, she could protect herself, this belief was imprinted there and would not let. So we had to change that, the meaning of that incident, the belief that was made by the child's mind, which was trying to protect her.
So it's very often out of protection that we create a habit that then later on we cannot get rid of.
Yeah.
The subconscious mind is a fascinating place, and 95% of everything we do all day is driven by the subconscious mind. You know, because I do a similar thing to you, and sometimes people look at me, you know, first when I explain it, and it's like I'm talking about aliens, but then it absolutely all makes sense. We are creatures of habit. We do everything habitual. And that's where this word mindfulness, you know, mindfulness is like a modern word, a hippie word, you know, it's not. Mindfulness is a very, very important thing to use. What does mindfulness mean to you, Tatiana?
Mindfulness to me, because I was reading about it, because there's mindfulness and also meditation. Mindfulness is being aware of your thoughts, and what these thoughts are creating in your feelings and in your body. So when you catch a thought, when you're aware of your thoughts and you catch a thought that is not creating the good feelings, you can just stop it and change it. No, it's this looping thoughts. And this is how anxiety begins. And then this is how a panic attacks begins. So it's not being able to stop the thoughts at the right moment and get rid of it or change it. And if you're staying stuck on that thought and then you follow it up, it becomes like a roller coaster of the thought after the other thought and the other thought, and then becomes a panic or an anxiety. So mindfulness is being able to control your thoughts.
Absolutely. And, I always say that we have all these people living rent-free in our head, and they sit in a corner, and when they come out, we even feed them because, instead of telling them to leave, because they're not doing us a favor by being in there at all. Do you believe that everybody can change?
I believe 100% everybody can change. And I believe that as human beings, we have so much power, and we are using just, I don't know, 3 or 4% of our power. Well, maybe thank God that we're not using 100%, because I mean, we've done so much bad in the world that with only using so little power. But I believe that if you use the power to create good in the world and around you, you should use more of the power that you have, because we have a very, very, very huge power as human beings. But we should use it for the good, to create good for yourself and for the people around you.
Yeah. And, when you use collective consciousness, when people meditate together, there are studies that show that when people meditate together, they can elevate the energy of a place. And I don't understand why we don't do it more often. I believe, that's my strong belief, I believe that mindfulness, these things should be taught in school. Children, it's much easier to change children, or you don't even have to change them because nothing has been stored in their subconscious minds yet. It's much easier to create mindful children than changing them later on, right?
From the age of 0 when they're born until the age of 5, actually is when the conscious mind is not really there. There's no filtering, nothing to protect them. So everything goes in the subconscious mind. So it could be a lot of good, but it could be also a lot of bad. And that's where we say that maybe some negative beliefs are created back then. So kindergarten age is such an important age to fill their subconscious mind with anything that will do good for them when they grow up. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you tell a child that she is that she is a girl, that she is a princess, she believes that she is a princess.
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell a girl that she is stupid and useless and worthless, she believes that too. And I think the power of words as to children, but later also among adults is very, very important. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on it.
Yeah. And I mean, self-confidence, again, going back to infants. Let's say we start to walk on our first, we crawl and then we walk and then we make our first steps and we fall. No children say, oh, I'm giving up. No self-confidence. I'm going to give up. No child gives up. Or when we start to have the first spoonful of cream and then we mess it all up, we try again and again and again because we know we're going to do it. So self-confidence is within us. It's much later that we start having hearing people what they're saying, or maybe a teacher or maybe a parent saying, "Oh, you're useless. Whatever you do is you're useless. Oh, forget about it." So it's after that that we hear different things that we start to lose our self-confidence.
Totally. And I think exactly the same goes for racism, because no child refuses to play with a child of another color or of different shapes of eyes until it is told who the other child is. And I think, it's a very, very precious, important thing to bring up children right.
Yeah.
So, Tatiana, we have already been talking for quite a long time. Time flies when you're having fun. We are going to wrap this up soon. Any last words, any tips, or also tell the people who are listening to this, how can they find you?
How can they find me? Oh, well, my practice name is called Take Care of Your Thoughts. What I do.
Doesn't it?
Take care of your thoughts. And I'm on Instagram like this, and I'm on Facebook, and also a website with Take Care of Your Thoughts. My last tip is take care of your thoughts. I mean, I really do, because most of the times when we're alone, when we're not reading anything, when we're not listening to something, when we're not watching something, our mind starts to do different thoughts. So be aware of your thoughts. What are you thinking? Is this thought making any good feelings or bad feelings? If it's not good feelings, stop it. Stop that thought and change it. Reverse it. Yeah, we have to be aware of your thoughts. You have to be aware of your thoughts.
Wonderful. I'm going to put the website and the Instagram handle of Tatiana Shukouroglou in our show notes, so you can find her there. And I want to thank you for spending time with me and for being on Most Memorable Journeys today. Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me here. It was an honor. Thank you so much.
If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.